Wow.
Yeah.
There's Aaron.
Hi, David. How's it going?
Oh, it's going all right. How are you?
Good, good.
Yeah, and I'm going to check to make sure we're online places that we're supposed to be online. Oh, it looks like we are. It looks like we're live on our website. Oh, okay. I don't know if you could hear that. Apparently, I didn't mute it. So it was basically, in my ear. But anyway, all right, and it's working there as well. But you have to. All right, well, how you doing, Aaron?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good, good. I'm going to try to once again. Oh, I don't. I'm not sure. I'd like to load in the St. Paul site because I can't always see when people start watching. So, but anyway, if you're watching, go ahead and throw something into the comments, and we'll actually add it to. I guess this is a show, so yeah, we'll add it to the show.
Something.
Yeah, something. So, what's up, my friend?
A whole lot. A whole
Well,
lot.
give me the full report.
Oh man, the full report. Once again, just there's a lot of. Oh, we do have some people
Yeah,
watching.
we do. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah,
Hey, and this person might be someone you know.
yeah. One of them's my mom.
Yeah, your mom's. Uh-oh. Well, there goes our topic for today.
No, but we have a lot of projects that are in the works that once again not necessarily sure time to release yet, but soon it's coming soon.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I'll also say that we have been changing how we're doing the live streaming.
Yeah,
We've added some options. Uh, and so if you go to, should I give them the website for the live streaming, the new one?
yeah, do it.
Okay. If you go to live.stpaul.life, we should be live there. I have not checked. I have not looked at that, but I think we should be live there. And hopefully, wherever we will do something live, it will be live there. And I'm going to put the address. There we go. There we go. So, and also on our regular church website, there's right there on the front page.
Mhm.
There's live there as well. So, I'm going to try to load in this this Facebook thing that it might actually start. Oh, nope, now it's working. All right. Never mind. Never mind. I got it going. So what else? Anything else? So you're basically teasing us, big
Yeah,
things happening. Can't tell anybody yet.
super top secret, confidential.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what else is going on other than the big stuff that you're not going to tell anybody about?
Man, other than the big stuff. Right now, Addie is napping in the room behind me. She is not feeling too well today. So
Ooh, okay. So if you like jump up,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
because of her.
she's screaming. Yeah, you'll probably hear her if she wakes up.
Okay. Okay. Well, I want to mention before we get into our topic of the day that Thursday, Thursday at 5:30, we've been doing prayer walking,
Yeah,
and anybody's welcome to do that. We're meeting at the church at 5:30, and I don't know what are we at? Maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that.
yeah. It usually depends on the weather. If it's way too hot,
Well,
it's shorter end of that spectrum.
well, that's true. That's
Uh,
true. I have not been paying attention to the weather other than going outside saying, "Wow, it is hot."
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, your mom says that we're live on there too, but it seems delayed just a tiny bit. Yes, it is delayed just a tiny bit. That's so we can hit the sometimes when Aaron says some things, we can bleep it.
It's the FCC. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We got in trouble with the FCC. Yes, no, not at all, not at all. Yeah, some of the streaming stuff is delayed, and depending on where you're sending it to, sometimes it's delayed a little bit more. That's why we have a hard time when we're trying to check things out because Well, let's ask for comments. Well, we're gonna have to wait about 3 minutes before we see any
Yeah.
because it's delayed. So yeah, but the prayer walking, we're just asking God to open our eyes
Mhm.
so that we might see what God sees, so that we might, I think, be aligned with His heart a little bit. I think that's a part of it.
Yeah.
And Addie usually comes along, so really that's all you need.
Yeah. Yeah. You got a cute face. She's usually eating chicken nuggets, usually.
That's true. She is, or waffle fries,
Or waffle fries, yeah.
or waffle fries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, should we jump into the topic for today?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Okay. Yesterday at 7 o'clock, we usually have, well, we've been having a prayer time. Now, we won't always have the prayer time because we might have some other meetings going on. But yesterday we had a prayer time, and it was about 6:57, 6:58. Someone sent me a text, and it was in a group text with 19 other people.
Hmm.
And for the next 2 hours, people continued to send messages to that group text. Has this ever happened to you, Aaron? Where you've been part of a very large group text?
Yes, group texts are the worst.
Yeah.
I'm bad at texting back in general.
And,
Then you got a group text.
yeah, and so the original person sent it out because a phone number had changed.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so what do? You get in your phone, you change the address, you're done. Well, he sends it out, and then you've got some people saying, "Who is this?" And then other people saying, "Why am I on this?" And then people start getting angry after several saying, "Oh, why take me off?"
Yeah.
And they get angry. And I'm not sure if you can take someone off a group text.
Yeah.
Once it's out there, it's out there.
Yeah.
And the original person said, stop texting this group text, delete it. I just wanted to give you my information. You can delete it now. And then other people kept saying, now this was, I mean, in the 20 minutes or so we were in the prayer group, I probably got, I don't know, 20 of these, 25 of these.
It takes one ornery person to keep it going.
And then you've got the 2 or 3 that think it's funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my phone's going off. I have it on vibrate because, we're in prayer, but it's also linked to my Fitbit. Yeah. And so every time it goes off, I hear this buzz, and then I feel this buzz. And for some reason, something's messed up with my Fitbit. And if I don't check the message, the next message I get, it will vibrate twice. Mm. And so if I get a third message, it will vibrate 3 times.
Oh, wow.
And if I get 10, which I did, it will just go off. And I'm thinking, what is going on? Is something happened? Did someone get put in the hospital? What? And I'm hoping. And so I was so distracted. And if you watch that, you might be able to tell something's just not going on right with Dave. In fact, I think I messed up the Lord's Prayer at the end.
I'm going to have to go back and watch.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Aaron, have you ever been distracted?
No, never.
Never. Okay. Okay.
No, yes. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Last week we talked about attention and how important our attention is. Mm-hmm. And what we pay attention to matters, and it forms us. And so, in your opinion, what would be most helpful? What are some things that would be most helpful to actually pay attention to if we're wanting to cultivate the presence of Jesus in our life?
Yeah.
I didn't ask you that before the show, did I?
No, you didn't. Yeah. So what should you pay attention to if you want to cultivate attention to Jesus in your life? 2 things. It's going to sound really basic, but it really is just going back to prayer and scripture. Okay. Those are the 2 things that I think if you really focus on the two of them, and you actually focus on them, I think that they will cultivate attention to Jesus and love to Jesus. I say that because, once again, I've said it a couple times on this show before, that my primary spiritual discipline is the daily office, which is scripture and prayer, multiple times a day. And it's primarily for that reason, because it keeps me focused. Because throughout the day, I have this tendency to be like, oh yeah, you're the one who's in control. It's like, no, you're not in control. Remember, God's in control here. You're not. And learn a little bit more about his love for you and his guidance for you during that time.
Yeah. Yeah. And so as you try to cultivate that attention in your life with the daily office, what are some things that sometimes get in the way? What are some distractions?
Well, the biggest distraction is my to-do list, my running to-do list.
Okay.
That I have going on in my head. I mentioned in a couple sermons ago about, my brain being like a web browser with 2,000 tabs open. And that quite literally, that's how my web browser is at home. And I can screen share right now. You'd be able to see that, so many tabs open on this computer, and that's quite literally what my brain is like all the time. So, not only just the running to-do list, but just, one of the ways that I think that the enemy tries to distract us is by using good things. So, and one of my favorite C.S. Lewis books, the Screw Tape Letters, about, I think I've talked on the show once before about this as well. In the Screw Tape Letters, it's these two demons writing to each other about how to tempt an individual. And they say that you have to take what God has created for good and twist it. And I think that one of the things the enemy does is take some good things in our life, some of the things that we should focus on. But when we're trying to focus on Jesus, we'll try and make us think about those things. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that's been very helpful in that aspect, and I think I mentioned this last week, is by acknowledging those thoughts, acknowledging sort of those desires to do those things, but to lift them up to God and say that I'm not going to think about those right now. Because if you try and say I'm not going to think about that, I'm not going to think about that, then you'll continue to focus and think on that thing. To be able to actually lay it aside.
Yeah, and the challenge with distractions is the more that we, I think, give into our distractions, the more we become attached to distraction. The more that we allow the to-do list to kind of run things, like you said, it's one thing to acknowledge and let it go, kind of like a leaf going down a river. You just kind of watch it. So, okay, yeah, all right, and let go. And to remember that if that to-do thing was important enough, you'll remember it later.
Yeah.
You'll remember it later. But we get attached to our distractions, and the problem with the distractions is it takes our eyes and our focus off the thing that will bring us peace and contentment.
Yeah.
And so it's very important to be able to quiet ourselves and to be able to really give our attention to something that is worthy of our attention.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing is we're sort of, we've mentioned before that sort of what we do forms us. In my head, it's definitely tough.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. Yeah, but I think that we are formed into a distracted people, because I don't know about you guys, but I have this terrible tendency of multitasking. Even with entertainment, Emily thinks that this is ridiculous, but when the football season's on, when we actually have a football season, rest in peace, Big Ten football. When we actually have a football season, you'll sometimes find me with one football game on the screen, and then one football game on an iPad, maybe one on a computer, maybe even one on my phone, all at the same time. She's like, well, how are you watching all of these? The answer is I'm not.
Yeah, you're just trying to beat the spread.
Yeah. In reality, in trying to watch all of them, I'm actually watching none of them. But
Yeah.
I find that we do this with so many areas of our life. We try to multitask. And so one thing that I've wanted to focus on in the past couple of years is doing one thing at a time. But with me telling you with the whole multiple tabs thing, you can see how that's going. But we have to really train ourselves into focusing on one thing at a time, and that in and of itself forms us into someone who has the ability to focus on something as important as Jesus. So
Yeah, it's just like anything. It takes practice. And the more you practice, the easier it gets. You're never going to be, to a place where you're completely undistracted, although, I think some people do get there. But it takes a lot of practice. But I want to encourage everyone watching this on why this is worth trying to do. Think for a moment, and you can do this if you want to. Get a jar or a glass and go outside and get some dirt and just kind of put it in the glass. Come back in, put some water in, cover it up, shake it up really, really well. Really, really well.
Let me play in the dirt. I'm going to tell on her since she's watching. So.
Yes. Now, who's this? Your mom?
My mom. She didn't let me play in the dirt. So
okay. Well, that
I'm not sure I can do this.
Yeah, that's why you're so clean. But anyway, you put it in there. You shake it up. You shake it up. Now, when you look at that water, what are you going to see?
It's going to be some murky water, right?
Yeah, it's going to be very murky water. You're not going to be able to see through it. And what's that?
Clear as mud, as someone might.
Clear as mud. Clear as mud. And that's sweet. Yeah, if your mom's not a fan, then you're in trouble. But yeah, clear as mud. And sometimes that's how our life gets. It gets all agitated, because that's basically agitating the water, and it brings up all this muck and stuff into our lives, and we lack clarity, and everything's just kind of muddy, and everything's just kind of jostling around and everything. But what happens if you set that glass aside for maybe an hour or two? Or maybe a day, and come back the next day? What are you going to notice about the water?
I'm not sure, David. What might I notice?
You're going to notice that all the sediment has fallen to the bottom of the glass.
Huh.
And you're going to be able to see through the water, as it sits, and as it's not agitated anymore. It begins, that all the sediment, begins to fall to the bottom, and you can see through the water. And I think, something similar happens in our life, and the fact that we live in a distracted culture, the fact that there's so much to distract us, the fact that without, 5 minutes of anything, quote, to do, we become bored with ourselves. Boredom is not necessarily a bad thing. Boredom gives us a time to breathe deeply and to refocus ourselves. And I'll say it again, on something that's worthy of our focus.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a challenge for everybody. So if you really want to try and put this into practice, if you really want to feel yourself being bored and sort of wrestle with that, and even see how amazing it can be to be bored and to actually focus on something.
You're going to tell them to come listen to all my sermons, aren't you?
Yes. Just
if you really want to be bored.
But practice. Practice the Sabbath, in which you rest from virtually all things, work and all that, for a 24-hour period. But I'll add on to that to sort of help us in our digital age. Practice a digital Sabbath as well. So Emily and I typically, we do a Sabbath from Friday night to Saturday night typically. And when we do that, we put our phones and lock them away in our bedroom. We turn off the computers and things like that for 24 hours. And when we actually practice this, we're not 100% perfect at it, all the time. But
Yeah.
when we truly practice this, we find ourselves truly resting and truly embracing the goodness of God for a day. And it's very apparent when we do those things that's what happens. And there are times when we haven't done it in a while, like we'll miss a week or two of actually doing it, and it'll be like, well, this week we need to actually have a Sabbath. We really need to do this week. And it'll change your life. It will.
Yeah. We just keep going and going and going, and we kind of wonder why we end up where we end up. And a lot of times it's because we don't take that, and I'll use the phrase restorative rest, because just because we're at home and quote resting doesn't mean it's a restorative rest, a rest for our soul. And again, it goes back to what are we focusing on?
Mm-hmm.
And the question I'd leave all of us with is, as we give our attention, I've been giving my attention to Holy Moly. I don't know if you know what Holy Moly is.
Yeah, that's the putt-putt show, right?
It is. Yeah. The extreme mini golf. Yeah. And I don't know. I just kind of landed on it by accident. But is that really worthy of my attention? Well, it probably not. It's entertainment. It's something that you don't have to think about, but everything matters. And if I'm not careful, and if I spend my life focusing on stuff like that, it's really not worthy of who God has created us to be. And is Caden your little brother?
Yes.
How old is he?
Caden is, let's say,
I
believe 11 now.
11. So I have the same taste as an 11-year-old. It's good to know.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. No.
Let's see. No.
I'm trying to
12.
think. I believe he was born in 2010. He was born in December, so he must be 9 right now. He's about to turn 10. So. Yeah.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah.
9. He's 9.
There it is.
There it is.
I remembered his birthday. I just didn't do the quick math. Everyone here knows I'm not good at math. Math is not my thing.
Oh, well, now everyone knows. The whole interwebs.
Yeah.
So I really encourage you to pay attention to what you pay attention to. Find some time when you can allow your soul to stop being agitated. And and there it is. If you want to send a gift.
Mm-hmm. I'll make sure it's not a Bible this time.
That's true. Well, it's not that it was a Bible; it's that it was a book. So, yeah. Well, it's time for us to close this down. Any other thoughts or any parting words?
No, my parting word with you is that challenge. Try to take, even if you only do it for an hour, try and take like a little bit of a digital Sabbath. If you want to go real hardcore, this is something I heard someone do several years ago, and it's something that I'd really like to pick up, but I'm not this hardcore yet. 1 hour a day, 1 day a week, and 1 week a year. Put away all the devices.
Okay.
Yeah. So far, I think I got 2 out of 3 for the most part.
Yeah. But. Okay. That is a challenge. Yeah. So, all right. I had one other thing I thought that maybe we would bring up for our next show, kind of regarding this. But I can't remember what that is. So, anyway, if it was important, it'll come back to me at some point. Right. Probably 30 seconds after we end this. So, well, thanks, Aaron. It's always a joy. If you have an idea for a topic you'd like us to dive into, or whatever, just go ahead and leave us a note. Send us an email. Put it in the comments. Just let us know. All right. Well, I'll see you later, Aaron.
All right.
All right.
Okay.